A very good morning to you, dear listener, and welcome to Perspectives, a current affairs discussion program on iGate Radio, 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, Benue State. This morning on Perspectives, our focus is on the Senate's resolution for inclusion of local government councils in the Federation Account Allocation Committee. Yesterday at the Senate plenary, the Senate asked the federal government to include one representative from each of the local government councils across the country and from all the states into the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting deliberations. This followed a resolution on a motion on the floor of the Senate, a motion moved by the Deputy Senate President and Senator representing Kano North Senatorial District, Senator Jibrin, give them a sense of financial inclusion in the running of local government funds in the country. They maintain that the current situation where the representatives of the federal and state governments alone are included in the fact that is the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting cannot be sustained, as according to then Section 5 of the Allocation of Revenue Federation Account Act of 1981, excluding local governments, is a provision now deemed inconsistent with the Constitution following the judgment of the Supreme Court delivered in July 2024, that's last year, granting local governments full financial autonomy. The Senate also argued that the local government councils now require direct to issue of local government autonomy has been on the front burner in this country recently, and this is an angle of coming to it, with the Senate resolving that they should also be part of the Federation Account Allocation meeting, and the Senate also directed that the decision should be communicated to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy for immediate action. Is this going to be respected by the federal government as resolved by the Senate? Transparency at the local government as a third tier of government as the Senate is seeking. These are the angles which I try to dive into to see to the extent to which this could be implemented and how it would promote issues of local government autonomy in the country. I have been joined here in the studio by three analysts who will offer their thoughts on this subject matter. First, a retired local government director, general services and administration, a seasoned local government administrator. He has served in several local governments across Benue State, retiring as a DGSA. Mr. Salem Atsehe is our guest on the program. Good morning, Mr. Atsehe. Thank you very much for joining us on Perspectives.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
We also have joining us on this edition a public affairs analyst who is a political chieftain and a doctoral candidate in accounting at the now Reverend Father Moses Adasu University in Makudi, because the formerly Benue State University, Makudi, the university gave an official communication to that effect, effecting the change of name. Sir Peter Vande is also with us on the program. Thank you very much for joining us, Sir Peter Vande. Welcome to Perspectives.
Thanks for having me, Nathaniel. Good morning, listeners.
And of course, we have another analyst who is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress joining us on this program. He is a former special advisor to the Benue State Governor and a one-time acting chairman of State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, in Benue State. Honorable Matthew Mnya, good to have you join us, sir. Welcome to iGate Radio.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
All right, my name is Nathaniel Nongu, welcoming you to this Wednesday's edition of the program. And if this may be your first time tuning in to Perspectives, kindly be informed that it is always audience participatory. At 10 o'clock, we allow you, the listener, to call in and also offer your thoughts on what we are discussing. You can do so by reaching us on the number 0814-335-9292. Again, I take the number 0814-335-9292. The SMS line is also available, through which you can participate on the program. 0912-699-9404 is dedicated to SMS. Again, the SMS line is 0912-699-9404. 9404. That line is available on WhatsApp. You may listen to us by logging on to our website on www.igateradiotv.com. You may also access our content, other contents there. We're available on Radio Garden and on social media platforms where our content is streaming. You can also download the iGate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store. This is a one-stop app which avails you the platforms of our radio, television, as well as the newspaper. We're available on all these platforms to serve you beyond boundaries. Kindly stay with us. We'll take a short breather, and once we are back, our discussion begins. Don't go away, kindly. Welcome back from that short break, and thank you for staying with us. Let me begin with you, Mr. Salem Atsehi. You are a seasoned local government administrator. What is your reaction to this Senate resolution yesterday at plenary calling on the federal government to include local government councils in the country in the discussions, meetings for Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting going forward?
Thank you very much. In fairness to the desires of the APC government to bring autonomy to local governments, many issues have come up. The very first issue was the issue of the Supreme Court judgment, which gave local governments financial autonomy. That has not been implemented because yes, the Supreme Court has made the ruling, but there has been no constitutional amendment, and so implementation is getting difficult. We are not even done with that yet, and the Senate, who are in a position to amend the FACT law, has come up with a resolution instead of sponsoring an amendment to include the representative of local government in the Federation Account. Personally, I heard the news, and at the end of the day, I say it's just one big deal. If we are honest as Nigerians, we don't even need all Nigerians to be in the allocation panel, particularly in this ICT law. If everything is programmed, that money is coming like this, it should go like this, and it's placed, you don't even need to go to Abuja before you can get your money. And when you take a resolution without understanding the financial implication, you are now asking for an additional 774 persons. Stage of servicing the department will have to increase. Their transportation, their accommodations, their sitting allowance. Even here at the state where Jack has to be maintained with 1% of the allocation, there are a lot of issues coming up. I know the desire is to help the local government, but in the long run, I don't see it helping the local government. Since by press of button, everybody can get his allocation without any argument. And see, the 774 representatives are only going to add to the number of persons that have been in the park. That's the Commissioner for Finance and the Accountant General for each of the states, and some of the top members. So it will be too rowdy to even make any meaningful participation. In the first place, they go there just to consider the template, the sharing template that has already been implemented, and ask very few questions. Me, I feel even if they are going to be included, it should be a representative arrangement. But to me, 774 persons in addition to the federation account. It's too large. It's really, really too large.
But that's where the cake of the country is being shared monthly. So, a country of close to 200 million persons, if that number is sitting to determine what is done with the resources of the country, is it too large, you would say?
You see, we talk about sharing the cake of the nation by the member that receives. The federation account needs to look at the inflows arising from revenue, and the sharing formulas have been there. If we want to safeguard the money, then we should first implement the sharing formula without getting involved in so many of these things. I'm not against it, however, I feel that we should carry a whole review of the constitution to give local governments their autonomy, and also review the fact law. Even the Senate or whatever made reference to the fact law that it does not include them. So it's still a resolution. And why waste our energies in making resolutions that run counter to the provisions of the law? Instead, you have the right to amend the law to include these people. So I think they're only playing to the gallery. They want to be seen by the ruler populace that they are representing them and they are thinking of them. It's how their tenants are giving way. So people are trying to see, they are trying to move motions that will make people begin to feel that they are. As far as I'm concerned, I have been in this system for very long, and I know exactly. The basic problems of local government are there. Nothing has been done about it.
All right, we'll get to the problems as we go along. Now, Honorable Mia, I'm with you now. Let's have your reaction to this resolution by the Senate, and particularly it argued that the local government councils are recognized constitutionally as the third tier of government, and as such are entitled to have a direct share from the federation account, moving a motion that while representative from each of the 774 local governments should be part of the FAC meeting. By FAC here I mean the Federation Account Allocation Committee meetings. Let's have your reaction.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. This, I commend the Senate for the resolution. It is timely and it is welcome. It is also part of the trust of the autonomy which the earlier mentioned that has been granted to local governments. And you see, when you go back to look at what autonomy is, it is giving the local government the powers to decide, to direct, and to utilize their funds accordingly. Also to reach out to the people that they are governing. And so, if the state have their representative at the FAC, I don't think it is something bad that the local governments also have their own representative, because there are benefits attached to that. These benefits are there. One, if you have them to discuss their issues at the FAC, and then when funds are being directed, it will be directed to serve their needs, the needs of their people. It will also help them to be transparent. Somebody is there, he knows what is coming, and the local government chairman or management also knows that somebody else is knowing what is coming there. I think it also helps in accountability of the resources. And because the local government is meant for the people, it will now bring the governance of the local government very close to the people who are there. So to me, I think it is one of the variables of the local government autonomy that the Senate are still trying to implement. And it's also a way of taking the control of the local government completely away from the state government, so that the local government will now know that they are in charge, they are incumbent, they have the power to decide, they have the power to be responsive to their people in case of need, and there are so many benefits attached. So I think even if, as my cohort have said, I think we just try to make some corrections where they are necessarily needed. If not, it is a welcome development that I think should be done. And they still have the power to do it. So this, I've earlier said, because of the denial of this local government autonomy or power to decide, they are now also depending on the state government in any way. I can say when the number of consumers are higher than the number of producers, there is much inflation. So local government itself has become a consumer in the state. So allow the local government to have their own, let them have their representative there, as the state governors also have their representative there. So that at this point, they can discuss the needs of their local government there, because fund allocations are done based on the needs of what the people are desiring to have. So if they have their representative there, I think each local government know their needs, they know the way they get their revenues, and therefore they can project the voices of their people at that place. Then funds will be properly allocated.
Now require direct representation to safeguard local government interests and enhance transparency in revenue sharing. You are a financial expert. Talk to us on ways that if the local governments are involved in the FAC meetings, how do we promote financial transparency?
Thank you, Nathaniel.
revenue
Thank you,
share.
panelists. Thank you, listeners. I feel so honored to be here on this very important topic. Local government autonomy simply means freedom. We claim to be an independent country, and here are we for years talking about freedom to the most important sector of the country where all of us come from. We all come from local areas called local governments, and in the past these local governments have been very instrumental to the development of our rural economy, security, and everything. Now we have held it captive, the state and the federal, and that is where this is the background to what we are discussing. And today we are talking about autonomy. We use a beautiful word to confuse people, but this simply means freedom to the local councils. And now, in fairness to the National Assembly, if you cast your mind back, for many of the National Assemblies we have had, consistently, the Senate and the House of Reps had passed a resolution, constitutional amendment resolutions to amend the Constitution to give local government autonomy. They have never wavered. And this step they have added to say local government should be on the FAC is just one of the ways they have been trying all along. But I want to cast our mind back to even the last Senate, the last constitutional amendment in the country, where the Senate and the House of Reps passed the resolution. But you know that the process of amending the Constitution requires two-thirds endorsement of the Houses of Assembly. It is the state Houses of Assembly that killed this constitutional amendment, always promoted by the Senate and the House of Reps. Unfortunately, in the last Assembly of Benue State, they also voted against local government autonomy, voting against freedom of their own people. So this is where we stand. And the federal government has made it clear that they want the local councils to be free. I see this resolution by the Senate as a continuation of their efforts to free the local government from the captivity of the states. And this is what we have. So if whatever they do, but like the DGSA said, what the important thing is to grant that autonomy, not just financial, even electoral autonomy. Because if you grant, like the Supreme Court judgment the Senate relied on to make that resolution said, if you grant financial autonomy to local government and they don't have electoral autonomy, what of use have you made? Because now the Accountant General has requested local government chairmen to submit accounts, bank accounts of their own local government so that they can credit monies to them out of the federation account direct. The local governments in this country have refused. I don't know what they are afraid of. Like slaves who have been free, they have refused to go. They have shied away from submitting those accounts. So I see this resolution by the Senate and must be commended because they keep on trying to free us. That's the way I see it. And if this is done, I think we made mention of, the DGSA made mention of the number of persons that we attend, the 774 local government. I think that number is on the high side, truly, to manage a meeting of that kind. But I think the local government in Nigeria has a body they call Argon of the country. And this is their own elected representatives of their own union. The Argon the number can be scaled down to a manageable level by their umbrella body, which is Argon, which can choose a few members from local government to represent them on that panel in the fact. And if they do that, I think it will solve the issue of many local governments attending at the same time. Once local government is represented, even by one person, if the president of Argon is there, it is enough that local governments have been represented. But I want us to see this resolution by the Senate as one of the steps the National Assembly has always done to free local government from captivity.
All right. Now, Mr. Atsuhi, as a former chief accounting officer of the local government, the Senate also directed that this resolution be communicated to the Minister of Finance, coordinating Minister of the Economy, who serves as the FAC chairman for immediate action. You see that immediate action coming on getting the local governments involved in the FAC meetings as resolved by the Senate.
Yes, let me know. I don't see immediate action. I am happy that we are all recognizing the need to look at the matter. So yesterday, the Senate was unable to add an agenda to some of the things that we look at. But if you don't amend the Federation Allocation of Material, Section 5, it's not going to be that. Resolutions themselves are not there. They are suggestions. But it is good that our Nigerian Senate is seeing the need for the local government to be represented at the FAC. But they should also see the need to ensure, like my co-contributor said, that the process of bringing the political leadership at that level is not interrupted. For some time now, it has not been any fair electoral process. People who will come there and defend the cause of their people are neglected. Governors appoint the chairman virtually. It's for some time. It's not just now. So the persons they are talking about going to Abuja to represent their local government councils will only be even going there to give briefings and come back and brief the person that put them there. We are only seeing, for now, we are only seeing the need for local government autonomy. And we are only raising the agenda by the time we do a local government reform. By the time the federal government comes up with a local government reform team, then all these issues will become the issues for discussion. Here we are only mentioning it is good the local government have financial autonomy. It's good that chairman should be included in it. Maybe another agenda is that it is good that the constitution is amended to give them political autonomy. But if you go and give somebody money in Abuja or direct you, I have witnessed this before. When IBB came in, we were collecting checks at the federal payroll. Our chairman were able to do so much. I remember my chairman in Ushobu, Chief Mrs. Kezia Agudu. He did so much because the money came. But right now, the whole thing has been messed up. Local government money is used to pay teachers' salary. You now come for allocation. You are supposed to send money to, let's say, to pay somebody's salary. You will still have to give it to some other person to go and pay that salary. So, and as money moves along the road, you know what happens. You want to pay the head worker, you not take the money here. Instead of sending it to the local government, you are not giving it to the primary health care board. So even the primary health care board and the constitution is very clear on the primary education and primary health care service. Yet there is a body at the national called Primary Health Care Commission. There is a body at the state. So it's until these areas of balkanizing the local government allocation are straightened, you may be talking much. It's by doing very little. Because if you don't talk about the financial autonomy, who is going to pay the teachers? How are the chairmen coming together or the councils coming together? Are they still coming together generally to take this money and give to another person to come and pay the salaries? These are some of the issues that must be done, and that is a long list of agenda for the freedom that is desired of local government. It's not that local government can't do the right thing, but when you begin to appear, you appear the theory that local government essentially can't do anything unless you force them to do it, then you are making a very big mistake. Then that theory should also apply to states and even the federal government. That is just what I'm talking about. The Senate has drawn the attention to a new agenda that should be included on the list of things to do to achieve the autonomy of local government. I'm aware my friend here, Nyim, was at the was at Subeb. I know some of the challenges he faced, because maybe some of his discoveries might have even created some problems. I'm not speaking for him. I'm only thinking, because these are facts. You take money that is meant to go direct to somebody, you pass it through an agent, and then you have a long list of things, and then you find many people die, many people retiring, many people maybe serving for a while. The bills are not dropping, the bills are increasing. And then until these things are done, I know that when the chairmen were appointing education secretary, I was in the service. They appoint education secretaries of the LEA. If money comes, they give to LEA there. Even the law making provision for this thing recognizes LEA. Chairmen were appointing education secretaries. Now the appointment of education secretary has become a state affair. Everybody is involved in it. Some people appointed are even is overdue for retirement, but they are there. And such people will only be mopping up to go eventually. I commend the Senate for recognizing another agenda to be included on the things to be considered in giving local government authority. But the workability of it for now.
All right. Honorable Nyam, what role, in your opinion, do you think the representation of local governments on the FAC meeting will play in promoting transparency, especially in the sharing of revenue and its application for the benefit of people at the grassroots?
Yes, thank you. Let me still go back is very true that local governments don't have a political autonomy. He made mention of local government chairmen failing to submit their accounts. This is because there have been selections and not elections. If laws are made in such a way that local government run credible elections, they will be representatives of the people, and they will be answerable to the people. And so when these laws are put in place, I don't think there is nothing bad about that. We can have as many people representing the country at a particular place, because this goes to the theory of Henry Pyle that talks about division of labor. Let's not look at what we are going to eat. Let's look at what we are going to produce. And this theory, I guess it comes out from the body structure. The body has so many joints that perform different functions. And therefore, if there is division of labor that will enhance productivity, I think all we are doing is to ensure that there is accountability and productivity in the local government. If somebody is represented at the PAC meeting, ideally, I don't know the rules governing the allocation of funds, of course, but each local government has her own individual way of generating revenue. And by the time you are there, you speak the minds and the needs of your people. When you speak the minds and the needs of your people, monies are allocated to service the needs of each particular local government. And maybe it will enhance, maybe improve their allocation. And it will also ensure equitability of funds. So I think there's every need for local government to also have their representative. How many Senate do we have? How many House of Reps do we have? Because they are representing their people. They are the voices of their people. The local government are very close to their people. They know the needs of their people. They know where they can go. And then they know what the voice they can project to make sure their people get a very good response from them. So to me, I think if people are nominated from their local government, one, it will help to check and balance their allocation of the local government. Because apart from the people who are elected to be there, another person is also there who also has the figures that are coming to the local government. And it will help to check, the both parties will be checking themselves to ensure that what is coming to our local government, this is the figure we have. And they can also challenge the people who are managing these resources. If we are looking at what to eat more than what to produce, that is where the problem comes in. At every point in time, if you want to do something, don't consider the first thing what you are going to eat. Consider the productivity. If the productivity is not high, then you'll be running yourself and ruining the system down. So to me, I support the idea completely, and I think that will help us to check the transparency of the local government and to enhance the productivity of the local government and quick responses to the needs of our people.
All right. Now, Savande, from the point of view of the judgment of the Supreme Court delivered since July last year, granting autonomy, and in this case, financial autonomy to local governments, a component of it still remains that most of the states still maintains what is called JAC, Joint Account Allocation Committee, with local governments. And the worry is, won't this getting the local government's representative in the FAC break that JAC system, that joint account system, and open up more transparency to the people?
Thank you. That is the hallmark of what we are discussing. The legal framework that will grant local governments of Nigeria freedom. All these entanglements of JAC and FAC are a creation of the law. The legal framework that can guarantee unfettered access to local government funds by their own representatives has to be granted by the major law of the country, which is the Constitution. You know that any law that runs contrary to the Constitution is null and void. And so, if the Senate makes resolutions that the Constitution provides for jack, and now the Senate is asking the government to go to FAC. Even if they go to FAC and they share, and because the legal framework says that after FAC, monies are released to the joint accounts at the states. What is the essence of going to FAC now? You go to FAC, you look at how much has been shared. Like the problem we have in the state now. I am a student of accounting and finance, and I wanted to do a research program to present a seminar on the impact of the joint account allocation committee on the budget implementation ability of the local government. You know, I couldn't get records. And that research is not about walai talai.
Yes.
It's about verifiable record. As it is now, it is shrouded in secrecy. What moves from the joint account allocation committee to the various local government, you will never get that record. You will never get that figure. All these things are hampered because the legal framework has permitted the looting of local government funds. Let me permit me to use that word. So, if we mean business, if we know that we all come from local government, and look at the good work the local government has been doing all these things, we will have to take a holistic look at amendment of the Constitution to give local government autonomy and all those ancillary laws like the FAC and the JAC, how they affect the free flow of funds to the local government to be amended. My brother and listeners, I look at this issue we're discussing as a very shameful issue for the country. But it is just one of the general culture of decay we have witnessed in this country. We are talking local governments today and how we have balkanized the local government such that we will take their money by force. Imagine that the local government is paying primary school teachers. Why not give local government their money to pay their own teachers? You carry the money, employ their own teachers and pay them. You now remove local government money from their own pocket and give Sube. Say Sube should go and pay. Whatever they pay, whether it remains or the money is not whatever, nobody accounts for it. Why not give local government their money and take your hands off? If they cannot employ teachers, they should not employ. But if they can employ, let them employ. It is about the legal framework. And you see the general culture of decay. Unfortunately, my two co-panelists happen to fall in the generation I want to talk about, this culture of decay. These people, 55 years and above, went to free primary schools, went to free secondary schools, went to free universities, and were given jobs at graduation. They were given cars. This is the generation that has taken over power from the white man. And they have made sure that all they benefited, the next generation should not benefit. The local government that they saw that time used to flourish, used to work with. I had a chairman, even when I grew up, but it's a J.K. Gallo, a constitution of blessed memory. He did a lot of projects, bridges, because he was collecting his check from federal pay office. Direct allocation to local government, they were performing. So nobody tell us that local governments will not perform. No, people who become governors, did they go to school to become governors? Did they graduate and get PhD in becoming governor before they are elected? Allow the local governments to make their mistakes and correct them. And in the process of elections, those people can elect people the people know. If you are succeeding, the people know. If you have failed them, they will never re-elect you. So it is a general problem of decay. People who went to public primary schools, they pass in those villages and don't see those primary schools there again. What you have now is nursery schools, that is private. They have the public schools they attended have died and they have killed it. They have opened their own primary school for children to go so that they can get money. And sent it to secondary school, and it is now getting to universities. the system is down. And local government, the same thing to public infrastructure. All the things the local government used to do now. Somebody will come and tell you that they should even scrap local government so that the state will apply. So what I'm trying to say is that this problem is big. Like the DGSS said, the Senate has recognized that let us keep trying. Let us bring the issue of local government to the front burner. But the issue of FAC is not the end of the solution. The solution is holistic amendment of the Local Government Freedom Act, or the autonomy as we call it, so that the issues of joint account will not be there. The definition of joint is that something from this side will come, this side will come. But as it is happening now, it is only local government money that is being shared in that that state joint account. State government doesn't bring one couple there. I want to bet you. So what is joint about that account? So if we are going to FAC, we should scrap JAC, so that when monies move from FAC, they go straight to local government. And we should be able to define where primary schools are and the primary healthcare boards, whether they should belong to it is a function of the lowest tier of government, which is the local government. Give it to them. Whatever they can do, they can still have interventions from NGOs, federal government, and states. But to share their money with the state in the name of joint this thing, they are cheating the local government.
All right, dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makode. This morning, our discussion is focused on the Senate's resolution for inclusion of local government councils in the Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting. This was a resolution on the plenary of the Senate yesterday, following a motion moved by Deputy Senate President and Senator representing Kano North, Senator Jibrin Arau. And you can participate on the program at 10 o'clock by phoning in on the number 0814-335-9292. The number is 0912-699-9404. I take it again, 0912-699-9404. It's also on WhatsApp. Please remember to include your full name if you are sending a message. Now, Mr. Atsehi, let me start with this. It's an accusation, so you belong to that generation. Is it true? First, just respond to that pointedly and then talk to us. You operate with the state. How does it work with you as being advocated by the Senate?
The first issue I raised to you is whether I belong in the era of babies or older. I attended the missions of other schools where the school is Peter farmers were very have them get toilet paper and so it's really worrisome that after benefit there is a line of decay. But what we learned our time.
Okay, so you acknowledge the decay.
Yes.
Okay.
We had our children. And any attempt to bring them on board will destroy everything. Because I suffered, I had to carry firewood from Wapra to Boko before they will allow me to receive Boko. My child will not do that. They will pamper their children to the extent they do not want to be consistent. The jobs they want now, personal assistant, special assistant, that kind of stuff. So the same system complaining about, the people complaining about us are not ready to suffer in the civil service like we went through. Of course, we go to the civil service now. You see, there are no people. And the population in the service has seriously declined because people are not ready. Those who have found themselves didn't find themselves because they applied to this law.
Okay.
You know, one policy came and they were thrown in the service.
All right, so address the
So,
issue of Jack. At least you,
the
you
joint
have responded to that. I just
accounts-
needed you to clear your name. So
The
on the
intention
program,
of the
since
joint
you came
account
as
in the first place was not to create an avenue for governance muzzle local government. But as society is developing both positively and negatively, it became an instrument of pressure. States are supposed to contribute 10% of their internal revenue to the joint account. So the joint account was established because money will come from the federal government and money will also come from the state into that account. But eventually, states have not been contributing to the joint account. Rather, what is meant for local government is being muzzled. It's being directed to other avenues of service. You know, I'm a career person, and the way I will approach any issue may not be, it's like my speaker here, he's a politician, and I am guided by it's the easy way you leave service. But when you want to know about the allocation that comes to your local government, and you go to the FAC website, everything is posted. At times you may think we don't know what comes. Everything is posted on the website. And yes, the money that is coming to Benue State, the money that is going to federal government in those percentages, the money that is supposed to come to the local government is posted on the website. If you go there, you can get all this figures. It's month by month. The question is, when you reach what you do.
well, how come, let me interrupt you briefly. Like you acknowledge that it's posted on the FAC website. How come when the disbursement gets to the local government councils, it is never published at the level of state or making it known to various local governments that this is what your chairman has gotten
There
for
is
this
one thing
so that
that-
we hold them
There's
accountable
one
and
thing we
promote
have all
transparency.
agreed in: the selection process. And he who plays the fantastic in this state challenge the chairman of Katsina local government. There was a lot of problem. They belong to the same party. Senator Akume was the governor. Mahmoud said no, it's not going to work. It didn't work. Unison, Dr. Roger came on. He with his own plans and ideas. At the end of the day, we freeze his account. And I noticed over time that the money in the account of Ushomu finished earlier than any other local government. Today, our account was
So an account was frozen, but
any
money finished.
yes. Anytime he needed to, and I want to tell you that the monies in the account of Ushomu local government got exhausted earlier than faster than the local government whose accounts were not frozen. So it's quite a funny system. If I want to talk to you about what I have seen, and you will wonder. But these were people that were put there. Elections were conducted by the DECO or
Nadeko?
no NEC also, National Electoral Commission.
Okay.
And everybody vote his way to become chairman. The chairman of Valley Academy, Mr. Honaka, had a running battle with the governor because he couldn't do what they did. Your principal, Odom, had his issues with Agasso.
He's my former principal. I served in his government. He's my former principal.
I'm talking about now.
okay, he's my former principal. Let me acknowledge.
So he had problem with Agasso because while Agasso was still negotiating in the minimum wage, Odom went ahead and paid his minimum wage. Yes, because he had his money and he paid him to pay. those conflicts were issues that were bringing development, particularly in some other localities, because everybody was aspiring. I have served on activities here, very outstanding. The clinics that they had established, all of them can be termed, cottage hospitals, as what the states are building now as hospitals. And in each council one, they were taking money from the federal government. So even when they were holding this job, but there is this syndrome of deterioration that has continued for years. And the control system of the military, as soon as the civilians came in, they started picking from the control system of the military. And the system is going like that. Anyway, they want to control everything.
All right, to summarize your thoughts, the sustenance of Jack at this time, is it desirable, especially now that the Supreme Court has a rule on autonomy for local
That's
government?
quite undesirable. That's quite undesirable. Now, why are the chairman and the local councils resisting to submit their signatories to the central bank? Well, when, how many of them have submitted their signatories to the central bank? So it's a situation across the country. That's true. And even the Argon, they don't do elections. They hold a meeting and announce their leader. In a situation like that, nothing can happen. But if we must move in this country, we must be allowed to enjoy our freedom.
So between sustaining Jack, scrapping it, and getting the local governments involved in the FARC deliberations, where do you stand? From the GSA?
You see, the issue is not even attendance to any meeting. The issue is crediting the desired account. I had said it before that there is a template in which money is shared. Local government don't even need to carry their problem in the federation account. The Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation set out the criteria for sharing money. One of it is IGR, which many local governments do not understand. They spend the money in the market, right in the market, and at the get. But they come and take your bank readings or your IGR and match money on your effort. Until the chairman themselves know that the IGR is used as a criteria. The social welfare services that you render, number of hospital beds, the number of children in school, the land bank, the population. These criteria are set and they take various factors. And in this modern world of computer, ICT, if the money is there and that is programmed, money can just go straight to anybody. They use it with your people to determine what you are going to do. You don't even need to go to Abuja to tell you that where the my local government I need to do nothing. The criteria for sharing the money is there.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Honorable Nya, the same issue between the federal government too, and asking the finance minister to take immediate action. Give us your thoughts on where you stand between these.
Yes.
Three.
Fortunately, I attended the Jack meeting when I was acting chairman of Sudan.
Okay.
And I don't see any reason of just going there to see how local government money was deducted to send to Sudan accounts. I don't see any reason. And it also delays payment. Some local governments were not able to remit that money even after 2 weeks of the Jack. There are meetings with the president and governors whenever the president feels like. So if the Jack is cancelled, each time the governor wants to hold a meeting with the chairman, he's allowed to do it. But there is no need for Jack meetings. There's no need completely. Because this allocation of funds to local government as autonomous decide on what. But this issue of where money comes, they are going for Jack meeting. What are they jacking? Are you directing that the governor will sit and say, I want you to construct this culvert, which even may not be beneficial to the other people? So the issue of Jack completely should be ruled out completely knocked out. which will now give local government autonomy the power to see how they can make use of their money. And then the people there will also hold them accountable, not hiding under the umbrella of somebody. It's not good. And that's why I said from the beginning of my discussion that the local government, the entirety of the local governments are now depending on the state government. Instead of being productive, they are also consumers because they are controlling the resources and giving them very little. Even pregnanting their brains with decisions that are forced into them, they should be making their own decisions. Because if autonomy, let me just delve into all this. Look at the issue of schools. Government is supposed to be funding schools, and that is why universities and other tertiary institutions are not completely autonomous. Even if you talk about autonomy in the university, they don't have, because government is funding the university. But nowadays, they don't even give money there. They ask the VCs to go into the internal generated revenue of the school, yet they are controlling the system. Why don't you allow autonomy to play a part and see how they'll make use of what they have? You're putting your hands there, doing this. If you see, you just mentioned about the change of name of the institution.
Yes.
It's highly involved.
Anyway,
All the C's to be changed there is money involved.
For today, that's not the focus. I needed to establish it clear so that the listener understands which of the institution I'm referring to.
Well, I earlier said
because it's a new name.
Apart from being intelligent, you also have the wisdom.
Thank you.
You manipulate to iron out things.
Thanks for your kind words
So,
and your compliments, sir.
Some of these are very painful, where you don't know where to start
All right.
and where to end.
Let's take a short breather, dear listener. Once we are back, we'll start engaging with you. Kindly stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us, dear listener. And if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM. Makudi, our discussion this morning is focused on the Senate's resolution for the inclusion of local government councils in the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee meeting. To participate on this program, the line to call in is 0814-335-9292. Again, I take the number 0814-335-9292. Once you connect with us, we're interested in knowing your full name and where you are calling from. Then you go ahead, make your submission. Please keep it brief and within the line of what we are discussing. The SMS line is also available, 0912-699-9404. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Yeah, good morning, Nat.
Thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, good morning, guests in the studio. My name is Jonah Tehile Benjamin, calling from Nakagwewe, Lokago.
How have you joined us, Jonah Tehile?
Yes, I thank the Senate for doing that, and I pray that I think it will come through like that. Yes, my opinion is about the unable the local government chairman. For doing that, local government chairman can make decisions in take action without needing approval from state government. Also, they can manage their finance, collect revenues, and allocate resources without state government. That will boost their independence and direct accountability to the electoral. Also can utilize projects and programs that will also benefit to their community, thereby promoting grassroots development and equally have the ability to solve some insecurity challenge in their locality. Doing this, really, I think it will run to better governance and accountability. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jonah Benjamin. We appreciate you for calling in. Jonah is talking to us about the benefits of getting the local governments involved in the allocation committee of the federal government. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Nathaniel. My name is Lupe Danny. I'm calling from High Level.
To have you join us, Ezra Lupe.
Yes, I think for me as a professional public administrator, I think looking at the system of government we operate in Nigeria, federation, there is no need for such resolution. If you look at the constitution and the issue of autonomy, I think issue of freedom is just like local government, is just like a house where the father is the head of the family. And you find out that a child has no freedom. Local government has no freedom. They can only have few rights to operate. And that is why we operate a federal system of government. So the state itself cannot operate without local government. It is because the local governments are there that the state is even called a state. So there is no need for everyone to be at the point of making decisions that we will call a state. The House of Assembly, I see to it that with the lack technocratic accuracy, and that is why they bring out some of these solutions, because that is autonomy is not independence. And even then themselves, House of Representatives, they are from local government. The governor himself is from local government. So they are trying to, I don't know whether they are trying to separate the state from the, which...
Ezra Lupe, let me interrupt your thoughts briefly. The Senate acknowledged that the local government is a third tier arm of government that constitutionally should have direct access to its allocation. So when you say it's trying to separate it from the states, I don't know what you understand or what you mean by that.
State, if the state is representing the local government, by the time they are trying to, if you come to the state, you have all the commissioners, people that oversee the affairs of local government. So it's as if what the state is getting is different from the local government. Whatever the state is going after is for the interest of all the local government within the state. So I see no reason why talking about autonomy as if autonomy has become an independence. And there is no total autonomy in this life. We need one another as nobody, and even no local government, no state is complete.
Thank you, Ezra, for your opinion. That's your opinion. So on this program, we accommodate all shares of opinion. So provided that within what we are discussing, and you have to state yours. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Fine. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Pastor Francis calling from Sudopi here, Makodi.
This is who?
Hello.
Know your full name,
Hello?
Francis.
Yeah. My take on this is that if the Senate can recognize local government based on the constitutional provision, that is the law, and that the actors in the panelists in the office, in the station there, they seem to have understood the workings of local government and the challenges therein. And I want to suggest, based on what the Senate has said, that one representative from each local government be sent to FAC. That would be too bogus. I would have loved a situation where, since the chairman of AGON represents the rest of the local governments in a state, the chairman of AGON can go ahead to represent each local government in a given state. So we may have 36 plus Abuja, making 37. They can form part of the FAC meeting. But the issue, as one of the panelists have said, is not issue of representation, it's issue of crediting the right amount to the local government, and then pressing out Jack, which is obstructing the functions of local government. That is my take. Thank you so much.
Francis, before you go, I didn't get your full name. I only got Francis.
Okay, so Francis Cheshe.
Thank you very much, Francis Cheshe, for calling in on the program. I appreciate you. Have a great day, sir. All right. Francis is keen into scrapping Jack, and crediting the right account to him is the most important. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Nathaniel, and the panelists in the studio.
Thank you very much for joining us.
I am Takuruku Anyamazinga. Other people call me Idio. I'm calling from Abese, Fayin Boko local government.
All right, Nyamazinga, we are listening to you.
Yes. I must commend the Senate for that bold step. It is long overdue because if I could remember, the Supreme Court has passed a judgment for the autonomy of local government. It has been a while for now, and nothing has been done about that. So if our senators can move this bold step, we are proud of them. Let the governors be summoned to the Senate so that they can explain why the local government cannot have their account with the central bank. And it will be a welcome development also, because the local governments are there to develop their locality. We are here in the local villages. So if the government of Nigeria is being a federalism, federal system is comprised of 3 tiers, which is federal, state, and local. And the local has been neglected. So if the Senate can make that bold step, let them go ahead and ensure that the Supreme Court judgment has been implemented, and it will come directly to the local populace, and Nigeria will be a better place for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Takuruku Nyamazinga. We appreciate your position. I think it's part of the Senate also acknowledged, cited that judgment. I think it's part of why they are pushing that local governments should be in the Federation Account Allocation meeting. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to Perspectives.
Welcome. Thank you, sir. This is from Justin Avarodo from Agabwe.
Sin Ava Udu.
Avarodo.
Okay.
I am in favor of the local government autonomy, because since the introduction of Jack, there is no single coverage in any local government. The chairman have no power to give any coverage or grade any street. So I think that if the local government autonomy is fully granted, they will have the power to develop our local government. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you, Justin Ava from Agabwe. That's in Gwe West local government area. We appreciate your opinion. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, Nathaniel Nangu.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you for joining us.
You are speaking with John G from Batelebo local government.
Good to have you, John G.
Yes. In fact, I am totally behind the Senate. I thank them so much for the decision they're taking now. In fact, local government chairman, they are under umbrella of the governor, so there's nothing going on from the local government. Look at examples from Boko. Boko is very huge, and you know that it's very hard for development to take place in the other part of the local government. But if local government have autonomy, the money is going directly to the chairman. So maybe some of our people, development will reach from our side. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day ahead.
You have a great day too. We appreciate you for calling in. Okay, John G is concerned about how vast this local government is and whether this could promote development to all nooks and crannies. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, guests in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Michael Gadi. I'm
Gadi,
calling
where are you
from
watching us from?
Gadi Layout.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, from my opinion, I think autonomy goes beyond just the allocations. So I think if the autonomy is granted, The first question I'll ask is who will the chairman be answerable to? Is it the state government or the federal government? And talking about projects, I think if the local government chairman have projects on ground, they can as well list the projects that they have, and the state government can look into the project and then assign money while they are to the project they have on ground based on what their or how their allocations will be. So I think the autonomy, it's not just the issue of allocations; it goes beyond that. So let's look deep into the autonomy of a thing. It's not the way I look at it. Is not just all about um, um, the allocations coming from the federal government directly to them.
Michael,
When it
before you
comes to
go,
even
so
other,
what components should be made up of the autonomy if it's not just about allocation like you mentioned?
yeah, like they said, they were talking about projects too, and then these people, by the time the autonomy is given to them, I think they will have power that, like one of the guests in the studio said, one of the chairman at a particular time had to even turn the governor down. By the time such power is given onto them, it goes beyond just the money, the issue of allocations. When it comes to even the elections time, these people will have powers where they even the governor will not even have anything to say, and this thing might rather cause conflict.
Thank you, Michael, for your opinion. We appreciate you for stating it on the program. 0814-335-9292. If you're not able to connect to the call line, simply send us an SMS to 0912-699-9404 to state your position. Good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us on Perspective.
Thank you, Nathan. My name is Jude Perry. I'm calling from Bakuma, East.
Right, Jude.
Thank you very much. I salute your guests for their wonderful analysis this morning. I support the full financial autonomy to be given to the local government, because this is the tier of government that is closer to the people. So if funds are given directly to the chairman, we can demand for accountability from them, ask questions. But as the case is now, you cannot wake up to a government chairman and start demanding accountability. He will say straightforward that the little money I'm getting from the governor is not enough for me to run the council. So full financial autonomy should be given to the local government. Money shouldn't exchange hands before it reach the council chairman. And I also want INEC to take full responsibility of conducting elections at the take care of government. Because a situation whereby a governor sits and selects council chairman, that is where the problem lies. Because you cannot ask questions directly to the governor, because you are not elected. You are selected to govern a council area. So you have no right to just look at the governor at the first and ask questions regarding financial matters. So I raise my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude. We appreciate you for stating your case and resting it. That is okay. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on
Hello, good morning, Mr. Latare Longo. Good morning to your guest. I am Engineer Sunday, calling from North Bakudi.
Good to have you, Sunday.
Yes, I am in support of local government autonomy, and every state territory should be in support of it. But what the Senate, the pronouncement by the Senate, like one of your guests said, the pronouncement is just laid to the gallery. They know what to do. That pronouncement is of no effect because it's not passed by law. They then amend the necessary laws giving the local government autonomy, and this thing will fall in line without making any pronouncement. When the JAC law is the JAC recognized by law, the fact that they are talking about not recognized by law, the local government are said, and they are making mere pronouncement. So let them amend the laws that they are doing now. Let them complete the amendment of the constitution, and this thing will fall in line without anybody making any pronouncement. And have to score cheap political points. Thank you very much. That's my conclusion.
Thank you, Sunday. We appreciate you. But the Senate is an institution established by law, so let's not call what they have done of as being of no effect. It's a lawful institution. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining in on
Hello.
Perspective.
Hello.
Morning, you are on. Speak to us.
My name is Justin Umile.
Umile, where are you reaching us from?
I'm from opposite Pastoral Center.
Casio, right?
Yeah. I want to start by asking a question.
We are listening.
Yes. I want to ask that will having a local government representative as the Federal Allocation Committee see the local government have their funds credited into their accounts directly from the CBN, and as well as have the freedom to expend such monies without the interference of the governors? That's number one. Number two, who is going to nominate the representative of the local government to FAC? Having said that, the call for representative at FAC at the local government level, to me, is very, very uncalled for. What we desire is a full local government autonomy, not just only financial autonomy, but political autonomy, where we will have a federal INEC that will conduct local government elections. Local government will have the freedom to spend money, carry out projects in the rural areas without any intimidation. Let us be sincere. If the federal government or the Tinubu-led administration really intends to make the local government have their autonomy, the presidency should go to push the National Assembly and the state assemblies. Let them pass the issue of local government autonomy into law, so that this issue will be settled once and for all. Let us be very, very honest. All this issue of local government representation is another way of settling political jobbers. To me, it's unnecessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin Umile. We appreciate you for calling in. Anyway, the advocacy for INEC. I think the Senate is also sponsoring a bill for a commission separate from INEC to conduct local government elections, but that's a different subject. I'm sorry, the network at your end is breaking. Maybe you want to change your position so we hear you better. I'm afraid we may have to disconnect with you. The network is not getting improved at your end. 0814-335-9292. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my brother in the studio.
Welcome to Perspective.
Hello?
You are on, sir.
Yeah. Good morning to the panel of this conference in the studio. Hello, Mr. Nathaniel, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear here.
Okay, thank you. I am Mr. Emmanuel Abba from Yeriwada Houses. You know, the network here is very, very bad. Talking about the topic of discussion. Well, the structure of local government, in fact, our federal system in this part of the world, particularly as it concerns state and local government, is highly intertwined, intermingled, and whatever nomenclature you may use to describe it. So, granting financial autonomy to the local government, well, is one of the ways that we think as a people will help us to take care of the problems, the underdevelopment problems at the grassroots level. But I think as a person that it is more than that. Okay, how do we talk about the people that will be at the helm of affairs when the financial autonomy is finally granted, or when the money started coming directly to the local government coffers? It will still be people, it will still be set of Nigerians that will be put in that place to run affairs. How are we sure they are not going to mismanage the fund? So I am advocating for total change of attitude, total reorientation of every Nigerian at all levels before we'll be able to make a reasonable progress, because the system is decayed right from the federal to the local government level as it is now. So granting financial autonomy alone may not be a solution to our problem, but having a change of attitude, having that personal conviction that we are changed from this our corrupt way of this corrupt way of life, that will help us all. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you. I appreciate you for stating your position on the program. 0814-335-9292. A few more engagements and then we'll come back to our discussion here in the studio. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Nathan.
Thank you for joining us. Let's know your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Tehideko. I'm calling from OGRE. I'm from Oshango Local Government.
Okay, Tehide.
Yeah, I applaud Senate for this. It's a good idea and a good decision. But I have my opinion. It's my opinion. It's not for anybody. I want they should scrap Jack and Subeb. Once they scrap Jack, Subeb too will follow, because I don't see any development that they will give. Rather, they will be giving us, they will be taking us back. So now that we have autonomy, they should give local government their autonomy. They should stand on their own, and INEC should start doing this, so that our elections will come from there. They should stop appointing our local government for us. We should be the one to choose our candidates, not from the government that they should be opposing them for us. We need to do our own thing. We know our people and our candidates. We know who will stand for us and that will favor us. That's my opinion. Thank you, and thank everybody.
I appreciate you, Tehide. Thank you for calling in. In any case, your emphasis on is your opinion. Well, anyway, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Morning.
This is
sorry, the network at your end is a bit unstable. Hello. Hello, are you there? Okay, you are on, but your voice is not coming through to us. I'm afraid we'll have to disconnect with you. Let's take some messages before we come back. And this one says, 9 months after the Supreme Court judgment on financial autonomy for local government autonomy, the Senate has passed a resolution on the same matter. Truth is that, except the Constitution is amended, local government financial autonomy will continue to be a mirage. Our governors are the biggest obstacles in actualizing autonomy, as local governments are their favorite cash cows. So any amendment is not in their interest. They will do all to sustain JAG. This situation is as sad and unfortunate. Gabriel Ongilo from One Occupy Station in Maputo. Another one here says, permit me to satirize this situation. The state government told us that there is partial autonomy in Benue. Can our chairman state start attending the operational account meeting? Jaffet Atom from Ayige in Makodi. Okay, Jaffet, we thank you for sending in your message anyway. For today, we do not have state government officials. Anyway, you say yours, you are only satirizing, satire. Maybe when we have the state government, will be willing to state their position. Good morning, presenter, with your guest. It's quite sad that we keep pretending in Nigeria as if we don't know what is supposed to be. Local government system in Nigeria is begging for a full autonomy for it to function well, without which if you appoint whoever on local government, that tier of government will still not work. Free our local government from hijackers and let that arm of government breathe. The people should also start showing concern and asking questions about the local government instead of looking for who their chairman should be answerable to. Joe Kennedy from International Market in Makodi. Joe Kennedy, thank you. Good morning, I get radio and guests. I'm so proud of this station for making me to understand local government systems since the federal government began autonomy for the system. I therefore call on the federal government to CC Borokon in Makodi. Thank you, Benki, for your participation. Good morning, Mr. Nathaniel and your guests in the house. My name is Kanti Michael from Gado Villa. Mr. Nathaniel, the calculation is very straight. The governors and the rest have succeeded in a way to again chop our local government huge allocations of funds. The autonomy for local government will soon be implemented fully for their funds to be going straight to their accounts, right? And they got the hint, and they now want to go into agreement with some local government officials to be having their shares as before. That's the aim for the inclusion for for one of their trusted person each to fact meeting. Oh, that's a whole different reasoning. Anyway, we can't say, Michael, we thank you. Nigerians always have suspicions about things, especially coming from the Senate and some of it. We'll respond to that. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hello,
Welcome
good
to
morning.
Perspective. We can
My
hear
name
you.
is Thomas Maza.
Thomas
calling
Maza,
from
kindly
Tewas
move away
Agbado.
from your radio set so we can hear you better.
I'm calling from Tewas Agbado.
Thomas, but I will still appeal that you move away from your radio set or turn down its
Yes,
volume,
I'm
then we
away.
can hear you better.
What I want to say is that our leaders are not honest. Even if they nominate people to be going too far in Abuja, they will only be spending the money. It will still not work. What they're supposed to be doing is let our leaders be honest with their work. Even if the money is being paid to local government account direct, some of them will still take it to Abuja. This issue of subsidy now, the money is enough for development to boomerang at the local government. But you see what is happening now. They are only sitting on the money. Unless they will change our heart, will be in our leaders. That is when development will strike on. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Thomas Maza, for stating your position. Okay, let's pause the course temporarily and come back. Let's begin, Mr. Salem Atihe. Justin Omile raised questions on who will nominate representative to the FAC if eventually implemented. I wanted to understand better also about the difference between FAC and JAC. I think you noted the consensus. Speak to that briefly before.
The Federation Account Allocation Committee that sees to carry out the sharing of all the federal government money.
Yes.
From neutrosis, from IRS, NNPC, taxes and all that. And it is made up of Minister of Finance, Deputy, Permanent Secretary, the State Commissioners of Finance and General. The state JAC, depending on the law passed by the state, in some states it is chairman that attend the JAC. In some other states it's only the treasurer that attend the JAC. I think in Benue State it is the chairman that come to JAC. I don't know. At my time, when I was in service, it was the chairman that would attend JAC, and the treasurers will be there with them to give them background
Information.
if they so desire. You see, we spent a lot of time talking on autonomy, financial autonomy, and all that. I strongly suggest that we must come to the table to discuss the local government. Yeah. Mostly how you are going to spend the money that has come to you. There is still an office on the general. House of Assembly is there, not minding what the local government in the center will do. We are expecting that there will be a local government in each legislative house that will be passing their budget, that will be overseeing what they are doing. But what you have now is there are too many people in the first place supervising local government. But let me also tell you, what we don't know is that if we allow local government this freedom that we are talking about here, even the governor will be better off.
Yes.
Even the governor will have less pressure. The governor can also have more projects that touch the life of the people. Your chairman will be inviting him to come and commission projects. But when that is not done, you put unnecessary pressure on you. Everybody is coming to Makodi to look for one contract or the other. I was a recorder in some of the local government that have served as an administrative and we had the finance and finance. And people were constructing culverts. People were, the stores in the market were being constructed. Either the market will be designed and you will buy the store and build. Local councils, will fill up the garages, the clinics were being built and all that. I'm not sure whether in the past 10 years the new project that can say is a project that has really touched the life of the people has ever been put in place and never because they have muzzled them. And until we set a clear agenda for the local government reform, such that gave birth to the 1976 reform and then later the Dasuki panels. These were the efforts made over time to improve our local government. And we saw this improvement. And then suddenly the whole thing was done. I suggest a more pragmatic approach. The whole Nigerian constitution is a creation of the people. And until we are able to develop a constitution that is essentially civilian. After the drafting of the constitution, having the Constituent Assembly, the Supreme Unity Council took time to promulgate this the constitution into law. So it's even the constitution itself not really the voice of the Nigerian people. So we need to even the amendments that are being made are still amendments to decrees. And there are some of the decrees that are still adopted as acts of the National Assembly when they were passed by maybe 17 members the Armed Forces Training Council or Supreme Military Council. And so somewhere along the line something got went wrong and the whole thing is fast running down the slope. And if it is not checked, the crisis that will erupt will die. Because local government take care of the rural areas. Everybody is now migrating to Makodi to get a contract. Everybody is migrating to the state to get a job. Everybody is coming to see the governor of the country. The chairmen are free. You go to them, they will tell you.
Meanwhile, they are the closest to the
Meanwhile,
grassroots.
they are the people that should be attending to this people. If their monies are given to them, the teachers will not even be talking about doing a strike because you are here seeing the person paying you. We have just made, you see, you want to come to Makodi here and you are taking the road to from whatever before you are getting to Makodi. I can just pray that we should understand why we are putting up. This local government is a very serious matter. Even political parties will be better off if this autonomy is given.
I see the passion in your eyes whenever you
Because
talk about
that is
reforms
my area.
in the
I've
local
spent all my
government.
life in that place. I see it, and I see it going down. And the people that are brought in to so-called remedy the situation come in with a plan full of, with a bag full of plans, to do the wrong things.
All right, Honorable Mia, why are you politicians making the local governments go down the drain as alleged by your co-panelists, and also a great reaction to some of the submissions made by the callers of the program?
Yes, we are not really in the hands of the politicians, in the hands of Nigerians. Nigerians celebrate who has and reject who doesn't have. In those days, when we call the local government in two language MEA. If you're a worker there and you accumulate a lot of money that you were not able to convert to yourself before taking it away, because every money that you're not able to convert it to become your own and you just take it away, you are stolen it. It doesn't go down with you one. Because these monies are through there viciously used. Now, in the recent time, where there are no chairmen, but local government representatives who are selected by the governor to report to them, the whole thing has gone very bad, totally very bad. We are not the ones. Our younger generation are the cause of all this. From the beginning of the discussion, my panelists here mentioned that the young people now don't want to work, they want to do. I sometimes try to talk to these people that are roasting fish on the road, and these ones that are selling all this food. Who are the people that you want them to eat this fish? You want these people that don't have a job to come and eat the fish. They will definitely go to get the money where they're not supposed to go. So they are out there to celebrate people who have the money. How do they get the money? If they bring this money and you're able to accumulate it somewhere, you have people follow up with celebrating you. So we are followers of the system ourselves. If you are there to discharge your duties genuinely and come out with a clean hand, they will reject you at the end of the day. Nobody will come to your house. Because it is only somebody that carries a bunch of unicorn that the chicken follows. Once you don't have anything, the chicken goes away. These are their own agenda, and it's giving us a lot of power. But on the whole, if we want to revamp the system, our minds should first of all be revamped. Let us change our attitude. Let us change our attitude. If we don't change our attitude, we will continue going down, going down, going down. If you look at some of these things that are going on in the educational system, somebody will be appointed head of the education sector without having any course in education to head that organization. How do you think that's going to go down well with the system? You don't know the rudiments of all these things. You are appointed there because you have the rudiments. And then in the services of this local government, there are people. Now, in the case, okay, my colleague here is a veteran in the system. Look at the composition of the room for local government, or maybe the local government rules and commission. Maybe by the time you get there, the people appointed there, most of them, may have never been for once worked with the local government. This is the government of the people, where everybody comes from. So when you bring these people together, who are now rejected, because by the time you are done with your services, you go back to sit in your house and become an applicant, a dependent. No pension, nothing. You become an applicant like your children that you are paid. So what do the children do? They go out to celebrate people who will be able to give them something to eat. So we are clapping for people who are not educated. Let us go back to the drawing board, bring people who can help the system, stop the governor from selecting people to represent us, because this is the government of the people. By the time we do all these things, it will be better decision making. And decision making is the whole of all these problems. This will bring people from left and right to put in their insight about what is happening, make a decision, than this local government that are selected taking decisions from the governor or from the House of Assembly. It's just like the house that Thomas did, where Thomas holds the pig, the dog, and the cat. The local government has a cat. So you see,
that is being chestered.
It's being chestered. Because the rat is there, the cat is there to chase the rat. So the Thomas will carry the stick and beat the dog. The dog will now chase. The assembly people chase the local government, even when they don't know anything about it, because they are doing their own assignment.
All right, the line is still buzzing non-stop, so let's engage with just one more caller, so we'll wrap up with a course. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Perspective.
Hello. No, please. Jude will be back on the line. Just a minute.
Jude, please, not a minute.
Yes.
30 seconds.
Yes. The reason why people are alleging fear that if funds are given directly to the local government council, they will mismanage it or embezzle it, is that the EFCC is a little bit weak. Because if EFCC is working and financial allegations are being leveled against a council boss, I think they will just go into investigation and arrest that chairman immediately so that he vomits whatever he or she has embezzled.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. You are a return caller, so we should end with you. Quite unfortunate. In any case, that will be the last call we will take on the program today because our time is no longer there and we need to wrap up here. So many of the callers made submissions, but one striking aspect which I read, part of the message also was that somebody is alleging here that the Senate is calling for inclusion of local government representatives in the Federation Account Allocation Committee as a way of getting their thoughts because they want their people there in the past. How truthful could this be? And react to some of the submissions made by the callers.
Yeah, the general phenomenon of national cake, anytime you hear that, it alludes to the fact that we believe that Nigeria's money is to be shared. So when we go there, somebody who has a longer arm takes a bigger one, or something that we don't believe that we are building, we are going to take, only take. My senior guy here, the veteran of the local government, said that when allocations are to be shared, there is a formula and there are indicators that the revenue organization uses to share is the bed spaces, the internally generated revenue. We don't believe that it is our internally generated efforts that give us revenue. We are talking of going to take national key. So the issue of people going there just to participate is the mentality that we have unfortunately brought onto ourselves. Else, it should be that we are going there to get something to develop our places. You see, social security, the decay now in the issue of even security menace, insecurity that has surrounded us, is largely because of the collapse of the local government system. I grew up in Konya where we had some club of contractors then who we were young, but we will hear cash flow. Once the local government, the month end, they say the local government is holding cash flow. All those big men in Konya will group themselves and move to Sabraba. They sleep there. It used to be, and the people working under them wait in expectation. Because when they go there, local government pays their contractors. They pay them. These people were big businessmen.
Yes.
At the end of every month, when they go for that, when the local government is holding this cash flow, these people sit there because at the end of the cash flow, they will be paid for their contracts. And they come back to boost the rural economy with what they take there. This thing was helping the local system. Even as recent as 2010, when my wife was Secretary of Constitutional Local Government, under the chairmanship of Taiwan Tano, the local government was building bridges, big bridges. And I could see even first-class citizens of Constitution from Abuja coming to take contracts in Constitution of about 30 something, and they were paid. And you could see people doing culverts. You cannot underestimate or overemphasize the impact of these monies to the local economy. Once it goes there, when they are doing culverts, classrooms, hospitals, now that we have centralized this money to Macaulay, even at this time, the most unfortunate one, at the time of subsidy is gone, where revenues are quadrupled to state and local government. I'm not sure my local government has built a toilet over this 2 weeks with all these monies coming. no single toilet.
All right, let's conclude.
And this is
and
the
because I will
difficult.
not give you a parting thought, shot again. If there's one reform you would recommend for implementation at the local government level, what would it be? That should be your concluding thought.
That should be
In 20
political
seconds.
autonomy. Let INEC conduct let the whole framework of the legal system be changed so that, like Moses would say, let my people go.
All right, and to you, Honorable Nya, your parting words on the program on the strongest of the reforms the local government system needs at this time that autonomy is on the front burner. Senate is calling for inclusion of the system at FAC meeting. What would that from recommendation be from you?
Yes.
20 seconds.
I still recommend that local government should be free to be on their own. It will help us. Let them also be production units so that the people there will benefit. So I am totally in support of it.
And from you, retired DGSA, Salem Atse, the local government is your system. As Chief Accounting Officer, the monies, are you satisfied with the running of local government funds in this current administration, not in the state, local governments in the country across?
We need a total constitutional amendment to remove the local government from being an appendage of the state. And we really have to have local government as a tier of government. All that is there for them. This came into being before. This came into existence before. Why can't we really go on that? Rather, we have taken it back into the Constitution. The Supreme Court is talking about direct allocation. The Constitution is talking about the joint allocation. The Senate is talking about bringing them to federation account. The fact law is talking about not including them. So I think it's a total constitutional amendment that will give local government into this place. And what we don't do is that when you have this big stakeholders in the West, because if local government choose to join up and do a project, they will all come together and do a common project. But what is happening now is what Shoika would say, dancing the Kokoma music.
Very much for your message. Dear listener, that will be where we'll leave it on today's edition of Perspectives. Retired local government director, general services and administration, Mr. Salem Atsehe, joined us here on this edition of the program, shared thoughts with us on Senate's resolution for inclusion of local government councils in the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee. We thank you very much, sir, for coming on Perspectives and the valuable insights. All right. Honorable Matthew Mnyam is a public affairs commentator and a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress. We appreciate your valuable insights on this subject matter too. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank the listeners and my friends here.
All right, and Sir Peter Vande is also a public affairs commentator, a political chieftain, and a doctoral candidate in the Department of Accounting and Finance at the Reverend Father Moses Oshio Adasu University, formerly Benue State University, Makurdi. Thank you, sir, for your time on the program. Dear listener, that's our program today. This is an evolving discussion with whatever angle it takes subsequently. If it is approved by the federal government eventually, we'll be here to examine it again and bring your shares of opinions to bear on this subject matter. Join us on Friday for a fresh edition of Perspectives. My name is Nathaniel Dongo. Have yourself a great week ahead. Goodbye.
We give quality entertainment. I guess radio.